Here's why video games hinder you and your spiritual growth. There's a crescendo happening just as I started this recording. They were not barking as loud as they are now. So the reason for this video is that I got a comment on someone saying, I think I said I used video games as an example to show something else, and then I said stupid video games. And so that, for me, I just want to mention that I have played video games. I know exactly what they do, and I know how addictive they can be. And it is a bypassing of fully living here. You can learn a lot of things through a video game, but it's only a mental thing. You're not actually doing anything other than touching buttons, and you can argue. You can always argue with me. No, I'm a video game professional, and that's what I do for a living. And great, that's wonderful that you found a way to turn this into something that can give you some benefit. But what I'm talking about is how to grow spiritually. And if you're interested in growing spiritually, meaning developing as a spirit into the body, that's what that means. It's growing your spiritual body so that you don't listen too much on what's going on in the world. You're using the world to make decisions, but you're not letting the world dictate to you how you should think, how you should feel, what you should do, but that you're relying on spirit, your truth of who you are as a soul in the body. That's the game. So it triggered a whole bunch of things like that. And I just felt like sharing it because it's such a deep topic. Because in a game, you're playing as if you are the character in the game. And it's a lot of fun. Of course it is. But we as souls think it's equally as fun to be aware that we are the soul, that we're operating this human. And when you are the soul, when you know you are the soul, operating as the human, and then going into another game and playing that game that someone else has made, you know that that's not satisfactory for the soul. The soul wants to do its own thing. Yeah, it can be fun. But unless you're into using games to alter people's consciousness and things like that, there are many options. But it's still going to operate from the mental plane, for the etheric. Like you're creating other realities in the etheric plane, but you're not funneling your experience into the body. It's like you are idling from your real life to play another life. That's kind of what you're doing. And of course you can do that, but it's not going to do anything for your spiritual development, because your spiritual development needs to have the body with it to do things. And so the game becomes more about harmonizing the body and the energies. That's how you become a true alchemist, that you alchemize all your energies so that your energy flows through your body properly, so that you don't use habits to cover up for something that you're not doing, that because you're afraid, or you've had experiences, or you've had a bad, whatever that is. It's about actually realizing what the truth is of the situation fully, so that you can see that, I see. I actually wanted to, let's say, talk to girls, or actually pursue my hobby, or travel around the world to meet different people. I actually wanted to do that, but I was afraid, and I can always do it tomorrow. So I was procrastinating, and then I was using video games as an excuse, as a cover-up behavior to get some of that thrill that I would have gotten if I would go on that trip or do that thing that scares me a little bit but excites me also. That's what it's about, to live here as humans. It is very practical sometimes. We need to brush our teeth because we need to look after the teeth. We need to eat. We need to exercise. We need to do things to get the body to function the best way that it can function. And I'm sorry to say, our society hasn't done a good job with that. To really properly teach people how to live harmoniously as a human being using all of the energy. So if you're into video games, know that it's okay. No one is judging you. You can do whatever you want. You're so free, you can choose bondage. But if you want to grow as a soul and as a body, and you want to actually live your life, then mastering your energy is one of the most important things that you can do. Mastering your energy so that you can operate these bodies properly, so that you know what the signals mean. Because just like a video game, this experience is like a video game also. It's just that, you know, the knobs that you see on your game controller or whatever this that you're using. I think it's game controller. I mean, back in my days, we had joysticks. Joystick. It sounds really sexual, but it was just, that's how we used it. And then there was this little button. I remember. We used to be so good at when you would run. So there was these Olympic Games, and so to run faster we had to wiggle this joystick back and forward the fastest, and so we had to like find like these ways to like just, but it was sort of also physical, and it was a little bit more, it was so new back then. So of course we didn't know what it was, and it was so exciting because of that. But now we know what it is. And so if anything is being used as a habitual thing, it's good to have a look at it. And video games is a big thing because it can be a big escape. And you might not even think that it's an escape. You might have a really good story of why you are playing those video games and making it okay. Maybe it's a source of great joy for you. Maybe it is. And if it is, great. I hope that it's inspired by God, the divine, of what you're meant to do here on this planet then. So maybe you're getting drawn to video games as a way to make an impact. Because there are so many ways that God makes an impact here, and how you as a soul makes an impact. Because that's who you are. You are God, a spark of God in bodies. And we are having fun here. It's not about being so serious, but it's just seeing things for what they are, learning different experiences, and seeing how to harmonize the body. And what am I saying harmonize? Harmonize just means that you're having a really, really exciting time with what you're doing. Just the same as you have the controller for the game. The same way, your body has similar signals. It's just much more complex. It's not that complex, really. It's just that we have never gotten a manual for what everything means. And so when we get a manual, which is what I provide, and there is a link in the description if you want to train like this. But if you want to play the game of being a human, you have to learn how all of the sensations, what those really mean, and what thoughts really are, and what feelings are, what emotions are, so that we can distinguish them, knowing what life energy is, like God, knowing how that shows up in your life, knowing what Gaia's energy is, knowing other energy formations that are interfering. Like, this energy world is really important to get, because then you can see the truth of this illusion. Because many people are still believing that they're inside of the Matrix, looking at the Matrix, thinking that the Matrix was a really good movie. Why was it a good movie? Because it resonates truth of what's going on. And so if you're playing a video game, know that it's okay. It is a process. Make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. So if you are hiding, trying to convince yourself that you're doing it for a good reason, your body will tell you. If you are embodied, your body will tell you. You will have like a sensation that's like, that's not really true, right? We're trying to fool ourselves here. Your body is a perfect lie detector test for yourself if you are lying. But sometimes people have convinced themselves of realities that they're so convinced is the reality that they sometimes just need someone to point it out. Hey, this is a construct. This is not real. And if you want to play in the real world, that's an option too, because sometimes people are so stuck in their thing that they don't see that they're stuck in a thing. They think that that's the only thing that is. It's not, right? There's so much more. There's so much more to be experienced. There's so much more to do here on this planet. You can learn how to dance. You can learn how to play. You can learn how to commune with spirit. I mean, that's one of my greatest joys. That's the reason why I'm sharing this, because they are so connected with me, and this is part of my mission here, to bring forth this new way of operating as a human being. Because many of us know that the old ways are not working anymore. And we can't just ignore it by doing all these behaviors that are detrimental to us. You know, they're detrimental in the long run. It's not really detrimental, just one video game, just one of those. It's accumulated over years. That's what that is. It's a habit. That's why. So if you do this one time, just this one day, over your entire lifetime, because if the habit is that you every day say that, then you're going to keep saying that unless you change it. And that goes for all of your behaviors. And this should be very empowering to you, because that means that you can change. You can change everything in this game. And when you change, this is the kicker. When you change your energy fully, your reality changes. But you have to know what you have to do in these bodies to have that happen. And there is a science to it. You can literally do it. I would call it even the science of being a human, because it's not something that can be measured. Sort of, like they're trying to measure all of this stuff, but it's like to the point of when does that stop? And when do you just realize that I know enough to know that I'm affecting this? I'm affecting this thing that I think that I'm measuring. I'm affecting it by my consciousness. Everything is affected by what you're seeing and the way that you're seeing it. So in order for you to change what you're seeing here, this video game that you have projected, because this is your projection of your own video game through your senses. We are literally projecting this reality. How things really operate is much different than what people are going around acting as if it is. And so it is about time that we upgrade the way that we operate as humans. I just want to thank this guy that was sending in the question, because it just brought up a whole bunch of interesting inspiration for me. So thank you so much. I hope that you send me an answer I hope that you see this. You may not be, because it was on one of those shorts, and sometimes I know people just watch a short and then they're just off to the next thing. But let's see. It'll be fun. I just felt like it was a fun thing to make a video like this. He thinks so too. Because, and also, I feel like I need to sell being a human, because many of us have trained ourselves so much out of that natural flow of being a human. In the natural world, we have so much artificial everything, artificial realities within the reality, that it's easy to get lost in these things, and even in the reality, in the video game reality, right? And so it's important for us to go outward so that we see the totality of the game that we're actually on. And that is what many people call intuition. It is just being fully embodied in these bodies. That's what it creates. It creates different sensory abilities so that you can feel other people, so that you can see through the energy that's going on. All the beings that you're seeing, the superstars and the people that are actually pursuing their dreams, they need to master this. Either they have in previous incarnations, or they have to master it. It is the game that we are all on as humans. That is literally why we're here. So I just want to introduce you that if you are playing a video game, know that it's okay, but I'm introducing you to another game. And it's really the game of life. I know that sounds corny, but it has so much to give you. But you have to comprehend your energy. It is the first step to fully land here as a soul, because we didn't come in knowing all of this stuff. So we had to try and figure it out ourselves. We didn't come in with a manual. Well, we did. It's just that the manual is inside, and we were trying to be tricked that it was outside. It never was. It is inside. You have to start to get to know your own body and get to know who you are, because you're so much more than what you think you are. All right, I hope that helped, and I'll see you again in the next one. Unless you want to check out one of my other videos, make sure that you sign up for the newsletter, like the video, share it with a friend, and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, take care.